Hello everyone, this is Fumihide Tanaka speaking. This paper is about a handheld robotic gadget named OMOY that shifts its physical weight to communicate with humans. By using these weight shifts, the robot tries to express its emotions and intentions without using voices. This robot is equipped with a movable weight inside, made of tungsten, actuated by two servo motors on a two-dimensional plane. In this paper, we first describe the hardware design of the OMOY. Then we report the results from a user study in which we investigated how participants perceived various weight shift patterns. Based on the results, design recommendations, and the semantics of weight shift patterns are discussed. Finally, we conclude this paper by envisioning a future use case. It is the use of robot as a social mediator between humans. Okay, now let me explain the user study part. This was an elicitation study. We recruited 18 participants and showed them 36 weight shift patterns that will be explained in the next slide. And we measured their perceived emotional states and intentions by using a questionnaire plus interviewing them. The 36 weight shift patterns were generated by changing 4 parameters: target position of the weight, the trajectory of the moving weight, its speed, and a repetition parameter. Based on the obtained results, we discussed design recommendations for weight shifts. Here is just an example. ANOVA was performed and significant results were summarized into design recommendations, such as to express arousal, apply centrifugal force repetitively. More details are described in the paper. Next, we also attempted identifying the semantics, the meaning of weight shifts. We made use of emotion-denoting terms introduced by Russell and Mehrabian in 1970s. Here, 151 words were defined as the three-dimensional coordinates of PAD: pleasure, arousal, and dominance. Now, we also have the results from our elicitation study that explain relationships between weight shift patterns and PAD. So, by combining our results with the emotion-denoting terms, we can discuss how a weight shift pattern can be labeled by those terms. Here are some examples. This weight shift pattern can be labeled by terms such as embattled and denying. Similarly, this pattern can be labeled by terms such as refusal, urgency, or joy. We wish you could have a try, but here we hope you have a sense of how it works. Finally, let me talk about a future use case. We envision using OMOY as a social mediator between people. For example, imagine an older person who lives alone separately from other family members. He can talk over the phone. However, sometimes he may not be able to tell his trouble explicitly and ask for a help. In such a situation, OMOY could supplement their conversation by adding a non-verbal emotional signal through a weight shift movement that contains some important sign. In fact, there is a different study from our lab that revealed that older people self-disclose their trouble, such as loss experience, easier over a social mediator robot than the cases with using a phone or a machine-like non-expressive robot. So, by adding a redshift function to such a social mediator robot, it could further encourage older people to self-disclose their trouble. We aim for providing a useful solution to help people from being socially isolated. Okay, that's all about my presentation today. Our related works can be found at our webpage, and we'd be so pleased if you could drop by our webpage too. Thank you very much for your viewing and listening.